One more minute remaining. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. A big hello to my chivalrous crowd. Hi, I'm Kian Singh, and I'm from Diploma in Information System. I will be the moderator for today's section. Thanks everyone for joining us today, and we will be on until 4:30 p.m. For today, we will have our season 2 cybersecurity talk entitled Cybersecurity in Facing Future Challenges with the tagline No System is Safe. A warm reminder, please don't feel shy to comment down your questions and interact with the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start off with a big welcome to our honorable guest, Dr. Mabel Tan Huju, President and CEO of UCSI College, Ms. Nadia Zainal Abidin, Head of Program, Mr. Muhammad Rizwan Muhammad Sharif, Head of Strategic Research and Advisory, Department of Cybersecurity Malaysia, our speaker for today's talk, the lecturers, and all my course mates who are joining with us today. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Mabel Tan Huiju, President and CEO of UCSI College, to give her welcoming remarks. Please welcome Dr. Mabel. Dr. Mabel, your mic is mute.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, let me welcome everybody. Thank you, Kensing. Kensing is our Diploma in Information Systems student at UCSI College. I also see here some colleagues from UCSI University as well. So welcome one and all. But a very special welcome to our speaker, Major Haji Muhammad Sharif, Head of Strategic Research Advisory Department, Malaysia. Pleasure to welcome you and all who are here today to our session 2 talk on cybersecurity, entitled Cybersecurity in Facing Future Challenges, with the subtopic No System is Safe. Major Muhammad Rizwan is a leading expert in cybersecurity awareness, crisis management, conflict management, strategic analysis, cross-cultural communications, change management, media handling, and international relations. Wow, this is a very long title, and I want to welcome you. Thank you, sir, for being here with us today and sharing your knowledge with our students and our staff. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, in our efforts to enable digital transformation, cybersecurity has become an important keyword. It is not tech jargon anymore to all of us. Cybersecurity is of paramount importance today when almost everything is going cyber after the COVID-19 pandemic. Awareness about the importance of cybersecurity, all of us, we are all at risk from sophisticated attacks owing to our reliance on technology. UCSI College has conducted many activities, including organizing this talk today to instill awareness about the importance of cybersecurity. Just last week, Ms. Nadia, our head of department, head of program for Diploma in IT and Diploma in IS, shared with a group of IGCSE students who visited UCSI College, and her quote from Clifford Stoll on how to treat passwords is still fresh in my mind. She said, "Treat your password like your toothbrush. Don't let anybody else use it and get a new one every 6 months." When we rely solely on our mobile phones and computers for the internet and other daily uses, like online banking, e-wallets, online shopping, etc., this can increase our vulnerability to cyber criminal activity and security breaches. I found out recently that it is no longer easy. A lot of my banking transactions were stuck as I found out that there is this thing called zero trust or multi-factor authentication or MFA, or principle of least privilege or POLP, all of which makes our life very difficult when we change our phones. But I suppose this is necessary in today's cybersecurity world, and I'm sure Major Rizwan will be touching on some of these as well. Ladies and gentlemen, before Major Rizwan comes on, let me just continue by saying a little bit about what UCSI College offers. Cybersecurity jobs are in high demand, and the demand is expected to grow. If you aspire to land a cybersecurity job, we have good news for you. UCSI College will be launching our degree program, a Bachelor in IT in Cybersecurity and Forensics in September this year. This is a 3+0 program in collaboration with Murdoch University, Australia. Murdoch University has campuses in Perth, in Dubai, and in will also be in Kuala Lumpur at UCSI College as well. UCSI College is also currently offering micro-credential programs in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and data analytics. As we all know, skills is the new currency. This is how we move forward in Malaysia. Skills is the new currency, and we all need to have more skills. If you want to know more, feel free to reach out to Ms. Nadia or any of our SEC members at UCSI College. For our diploma, foundation, and even degree students at UCSI University, these are some of the pathways to lead you to a brighter future. The future is in your hands, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, and over back to you, MC Mr. Kian Sing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mabel, for the warm welcoming remarks. Whoa, there are 170 participants in this meeting with us today. Seems like everyone is waiting for the talk to start, right? All right, our speaker today is a highly accomplished expert with diverse experience and specialization in soft skills, subjects such as cybersecurity awareness, crisis management, training, media handling, international relations, and he has been conducting lectures for the past 15 years in various educational institutions. Whoa, hebat sangat. We are blessed to have him with us today. Now, I would like to invite our speaker, Mr. Muhammad Rizwan Muhammad Sharif, Head of Strategic Research and Advisory Department of Cybersecurity Malaysia, to give his talk. Please, welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to Dr. Mabel Tan, moderator, esteemed lecturers and participants. And also thank you once again to UCSI for providing me or giving me the opportunity to deliver another lecture at your prestigious college. And I feel overwhelmed when the MC told me that there are 170 plus participants online. I believe I have never had a bigger audience than this. The most that I had before was like 110 or 100, but this is more than beyond my wildest dream. All right. I hope that my voice is clear because I had a flu last few days, but I do my best to present to you the lectures today. So before I proceed, I would like to remind that my lectures will be on a strategic viewpoint rather than technical, because this subject involves strategic and also technical. But if you have technical questions, you may ask me, but I might not be able to respond to you immediately. I will need to ask from the technical department. All right, next slide, please. Okay, the increasing number of internet users. By looking at this slide, you can see that the total number of population in the world nowadays stands at 8.01 billion, with the population in urban areas at 57.2%. And then the unique mobile phone users, there are 5.44 billion. It's almost like 68.0% of the total population. And then for the internet users, there are 5.16 billion. That is the 64.4% of the total population. And active social media users such as Twitter, Instagram, FB, and whatnot, there are about 4.76 billion, 59.4% of the total world population. That means we are almost, I would say, interconnected globally among the people in the world. And then we talk about Malaysia. Our population now stands at 32 million, and the internet users are 29.55 million. That is about the 89.6% of the total local population. That shows the connectivity and the internet users are increasing every year. And this is, it could be a good thing and also be a bad thing. Next slide, please. Here it shows the convergence of technologies. When we have more technologies, that means we are going to have more complexities to the cyberspace. It will add up to the problems and difficulties that we might have in the cyberspace. We talk about artificial intelligence. We talk about Internet of Things, IoT. We talk about quantum computer, big data, virtual reality, you name it, we have it now. 5G. I believe 5G is going to roll out in Malaysia very soon. But mostly we have 4G. But when it comes to 5G, you can see the increase in speed and connectivity, and we hope to cover up to 86% of the total land area in Malaysia. This is the extensive convergence of technology that you might be using one of these without knowing it. You might be using IoT, you might be using 5G, but you might not realize that you're using it because it's now like it's a given. Everybody wants you buy a handphone, you buy a computer, it's a given. You must have all these things together, right? Next, please. When you talk about digital transformation, it's just a continuity from the first, second, and third revolution. And now we have the Industrial Revolution 4.0. We have the automation, we have the big data, cloud computing, autonomous ICT, data management, everything. It shows a smart world whereby there is deep convergence between the new cyberspace and the traditional ones, such as physical, social, and also thinking space. You see how we use those things seamlessly, whether it's on cyberspace or physical, but you need to have all this to be connected. You cannot be, I don't think there will be people without a handphone, without a laptop, without a computer nowadays. Very, very seldom, very rare, I would say. By the way, if you have questions, you can stop me or ask me, put notes that I can perhaps to have to answer your question. Next. The COVID-19 that we encountered in Malaysia way back in 2020 to 2021 or end of earlier 2022, the pandemic has catalyzed a digital revolution worldwide. Digital initiatives and offering has leapfrogged about 7 years of progress in a matter of months. That means we have developed so fast. Okay. Hence, it is in the endemic phase that organizations are trying their best to improve, strengthen, secure, configure, test, deploy, strategize, and pilot projects. Because if you remember, during the pandemic, we were not allowed to go out. The government imposed MCO, all right? You have to work from your house. You have to do your study remotely, but then we need to survive. And this is shown by the diagram that for economic survivability and the new normal that we are facing now, and also at the same time, we were fighting the pandemic. So all those things happened together concurrently during the pandemic. Next. What it means by new normal and post-COVID-19 world, it shows that with the pandemic, it brought along the increased and institutionalized hybrid workplace, whereby we have this remote working. That means we work remotely from our own houses, or we work from the office, or even hybrid. Okay. And then we have infrastructure and application, the use of data, cloud computing, growth in functionality and use of online collaborative tools, whereby you use at that time, suddenly we were introduced to Zoom meetings, Microsoft Team meetings and whatnot, and more attention to enterprise and resilience. A rise in e-commerce, this is very true, because you can see there were many platforms such as Lazada, Shopee, Grab, that suddenly we were very not common before, but when it came to during the pandemic, it was something that was functional, something very important that everybody needs to use them. You can do your shopping online through Lazada or Shopee, and you can order your food because you couldn't go out through Grab, and those things increased tremendously during the pandemic. However, it also increased the expanded cyber attack surfaces due to increased remote hybrid workplace operations. When we talk about the rise in e-commerce, it emphasizes on the convenience of ordering your food or working remotely from your houses, but also they neglect to inform about the security, because once you work remotely or once you use the phone to order your food and whatnot, actually it exposes you to the threat from cyber security and cyber threats. All right. Okay, next. This is the Internet of Everything, IoE. It has provided big data to be analyzed and exploited. You have data, you have other things, you have the processes, and you have the people. It encompasses the IoD, Internet of Digital, the Internet of Things, IoT, and Internet of Humans, IOH. When you look at the IoD, without realizing it, without knowing it, some of us just bought smart TVs, bought smartphones and tablets. But if you notice, they are already included the Internet of Digital inside the devices. And the same thing goes to Internet of Things, where you have autonomous cars, we have washing machines and generators. You might wonder, how could the washing machines have IoT? But those are the things that now this automation, this machine, these devices have all these things to assist us to make our lives comfortable. But then again, they might neglect to inform you that once you have all these things, but you need to be aware of the cyber threats or cyber attacks that could occur without you knowing it. That is the danger of it. You might want to have the best smart TV. You want to have the smart phones, the most expensive one, what we call it, the iPhone 14, tablets, whatnot. But it's not only for convenience. I would like to remind you, it's not only for convenience, but it's also for security-wise. You must be aware that even though you can work remotely from everywhere, even from your favorite kedai mamak, or even your favorite restaurant, but you need to be vigilant and you need to be aware. You be aware of your surrounding, that people could eavesdrop into your whatever you're doing with your smartphone or with your laptop or tablet. Next. This is what I mentioned just now. Digital transformation is not without its risk. When you expose yourself on the cyberspace, it comes with the risk. Technologies such as wireless technology has changed the way we conduct businesses, offering workers with constant access to business critical application and data. While this flexibility is convenient and expands productivity, it also introduces complexity and security risks, as these new technology and devices become new targets for hackers looking to infiltrate our corporate network. Nowadays, if they want to steal your data, they want to steal your money, they do not have to do it physically. They can do it over in cyberspace. They can withdraw your money without your knowledge, or it can intercept and breach your security to steal your data. Now, data is like a commodity. When you talk about commodity, it can be traded. You can sell data. You can buy data. The matter now is how much money you have if you want to buy data. And data, you don't talk about hundreds or thousands. We're talking about hundreds of thousands. 1 million data. It's not 100 or 200, something like that. You're talking about big data, right? Next. This is the global risk for, we predict the global risk for 2023. In the short term, for 2 years, if you look at it, at the diagram, you see that widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity at the level 8. Okay, people are more concerned in level 1 about the cost of living crisis, and second, at the natural disasters, extreme weather events like the earthquake in Turkey this month, geoeconomic confrontation, the war between Ukraine and Russia, failure to mitigate climate change, erosion of social cohesion and societal polarization is happening not only in Malaysia but also elsewhere. Large-scale environmental damage incidents, failure of climate change adaptation, and number 8, it will be the widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity, natural resource crisis, and large-scale industrial migration. And at the medium term, for 10 years, cybercrime and cybersecurity is at level 8, okay? Because there are other things that might be concerned to the humanity, like you see in the level 1, failure to mitigate climate change. Number 2, failure of climate change adaptation. And ours, when we talk about cybersecurity, it falls at level 8 in over the medium term. But if you look, it's going to be, could be in the top level in the longer term. It could be, because that time will come when automation, robots, and AI will take over our lives. It will be, I would say, next 5 to 7 years, you will see all these things in action. All right. Next. Cyber threats are becoming more active and evolving. Why? Because the more we are interconnected to the cyberspace, the more we are at risk to cyber threats. Okay. If you look at the slide here, it shows the bottom one is prankster. Prankster to us at Cybersecurity Malaysia, we consider them to be like naughty boys. They just been exposed to the internet, to cyberspace, so they do this web page defacement. That is to us like naughty boys. If you remember, if you notice, the past 2 years we have this web page defacement done by, if you remember, hashtag Koyak Israel. If anybody remembers that, something like that, that would be prankster. The second one would be the insider threats, people who are not happy with their organization, and they are the ones who will sell data. When you talk about cybersecurity, we have the people, process, and technology. The weakest link is the human factor. And this, you might have the best technology, you might have the best process, but if the people are prone to bribery or people selling or asking them to sell data, they can easily do so. So how do you control humans? Next, we have the activists. Activist people are, sometimes they are paid, sometimes they do it on their own to hack into government websites, organization website, and whatnot. The next one will be the cyber criminals. These are the people that we at CSM are very concerned, because they can inflict big losses and they can do total damage on the cyberspace. And then we have the nation state cyber attacks. Normally, these are state-sponsored cyber attacks. When you mention about state-sponsored, they have the funding, they have the technology, they have the people working 24 hours a day to do the cyber attacks for their own particular national interest. When you talk about maybe it involves national defense, maybe it involves economy, it involves state secrets or espionage, they can do that because they have the funding, they have the experts. And the last one will be the cyber terrorism, where we try to avoid from terrorists using the cyberspace to expand their ideologies, their terrorist ideologies. And so far, we have managed to condone some of them, but it is still ongoing. So it's just a matter of time whether you be hit with this cyber terrorism. That is on the human or people factor, and on the left side of the slide is the technical factor. You have the spyware, brute force attack, password attack, man in the middle attack, and those are the technical parts of it, right? Most that we receive complaints mostly about phishing attack. There will be quite a number of complaints that CSM receives. Next. And then you know the players, you know the mentioned just now from the previous slide, who are the players. The question now is, why do they continue to happen? Because there are several reasons why they continue to happen, because of the financial gain, to provide income. You can get a lot of money from it. Secondly, to exploit people's vulnerability. This is when you want to get some sensitive information, they will try to exploit. Of course, every one of us, we have our own weaknesses. So maybe unknowingly you share some of this sensitive information to them. Espionage for unfair advantage, like I mentioned just now, maybe from the defense sector, maybe from the financial sector. They want to conduct spying to get more information about our state of readiness, state of defense, state of economic strength and whatnot. The next one will be the politically motivated for propaganda reasons. This does not mean only to certain political parties, but this is more so if you want to make people believe in your whatever you want to tell them, your beliefs, or your preaching about. That is called politically motivated, okay, for propaganda reasons. The last one will be the mostly for technical purposes, to exploit software or hardware vulnerability. They try to find what are the access which can easily access available or available loopholes that they can take advantage of. This is more so if they want to learn more about certain countries' technological advantage or for their own benefit. And also they might want to send their ransomware or other malware that could disrupt the particular organization. Next. New normal attacks, new attacks. This is a relation to the pandemic, and also during now is the endemic phase. Cybercrime, which includes everything from theft or embezzlement to data hacking and destruction, is up 600% as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Nearly every industry has had to embrace new solutions, and it forced companies to adapt cybersecurity very quickly. It's no longer whether your organization can be attacked or not. It's a matter of when. No longer a question of if the organization can be attacked. It's a matter of when the organization will be attacked or have this cyber attack or cyber threats. The increment is about 600%. Quite large, very high. Okay, next. This is the growth of cybercrime costs. If you look at the slide from 2015, the losses incurred were $3 trillion US dollars, and they estimated by 2025, this year is 2023, in 2 years' time, the cost will increase up to 10.5 trillion US dollar. There is a tremendous amount of cybercrime costs they incur. And when you talk about breach discovery, it takes about an average of 187 days, because the attacks, they will include the malware inside the organization system without the organization knowing it. And when they realize, they already cost you, sometimes it takes more than 30 days for them to realize they were attacked. And from 3.09 million, it could cost up to 4.25 million. Basically, the average cost of a single ransomware attack is roughly about 1.85 million US dollar. It's huge. It's a lot of money. So that's how they can steal your money. That's how they can make you suffer the losses, right? Next. This is the data about cybercrime cases rise by 82.5% during the MCO itself. Remember, we had the MCO way back in 2021, 2022. And during that time, cybercrime cases rise by 82.5% because they have nothing to do. And most of them couldn't go to work. And the only way for them to steal is by doing cybercrime. Without you knowing, because you were exposed to something new. Their MCO brought along a new environment to most of us when we have to learn to adapt to work remotely. Some of the school children, they have difficulties of learning remotely, especially in the rural areas. If you remember the case of the student, the female student from Sabah, when she had to sit for her exam, she had to climb up a hill to get the clearer connectivity, remember? By the name of Vivian, if not mistaken. Those are the cases. And then those are the problems that we have, the difficulties that we have. And without knowing it, you expose yourself to the cyber crimes. Whether you realize or not, suddenly you knew that you already lost some amount of money from your bank accounts. Okay, next. So when we talk about a global, we don't go too far. We go at the regional area, the state of the ASEAN cybersecurity. If you realize or if you are aware, cybersecurity has risen to the top of the leadership agenda in ASEAN countries. 92% believe cybersecurity to be the priority for their business leaders today. And then for the financial institution and prime target, but feel best prepared against attack. Financial services up by 45%, and fintechs, 42%, perceive themselves to be most at risk to cyber threats as compared to other industries. They know when you talk about transaction or banking transaction online, you are already aware that what are the difficulties, what are the challenges, what are the threats. So they need to beef up their cybersecurity. Malware attacks are also a top concern, and over 2/3 of the ASEAN states plan to increase their cybersecurity budget in 2022. This was the last year, so maybe this year there will be further increment. Cybersecurity budgets have increased the most for organizations in financial services and fintechs. So across the board, in the ASEAN countries, they realize that there is a need, an urgent need to beef up their cybersecurity. So Malaysia, as one of the ASEAN member states, we do not want to be left behind. We also want to increase or beef up our cybersecurity. So therefore, I would say there are chances, like Dr. Melvin Tan mentioned just now, opportunities for you if you want to be working in the cybersecurity organizations. Next. Last year, the cyber attack trends in Southeast Asia region, as shown on the slide, you can see this one for last year. 6 months of phishing attacks in 2022 exceeded Southeast Asia total number of last year. That means for 2021. RDP stands for Remote Desktop Protocol. Kaspersky blocks 47 million brute force attacks, BFA, targeting remote workers in Southeast Asia in the first half of 2022. Without you realizing it, and even as we speak, there are cyber attacks occurring in Malaysia and also in Southeast Asia. It's only a matter of time. Out of these thousands and thousands of cyber attacks, one will attack your organization. One will hit your organization because they are trying to find any weaknesses in your defenses. They are trying to find any loopholes that they can take advantage of. So when we talk about thousands and thousands of cyber attacks, it's like, how do I say? It's like every day we have been receiving complaints. Every day we be receiving reports. So for organizations such as CSM, where we focus on cyber attack, we are aware that it's happening every day. But mostly for other organizations out there, you may not realize it, but it's happening, right? Okay, next. Okay, we talk about this globally. The more we are interconnected, the more we are exposed. You can see some of the paper cuttings about the attacks that occurred in other part of the world. Carousel firms confirms data breach. 1.95 million accounts reportedly impacted. Red Cross cyber attack sees data of thousands of at-risk people stolen. Marriott's Hotel suffered second data breach in 2022. Ransomware posing as Windows antivirus antivirus update will just empty your wallet, and a lot more reports that we have. We follow this one. We monitor this one because we need to know what are the attacks that would most likely land into our country, that would attack our organizations. Even Red Cross, when we talk about health services, that is one of the critical national information infrastructure. Like if you remember recently, we have these cases about MySejahtera. If you remember, people trying to, they had a data breach on MySejahtera, and they want to sell off the data. Next, please. Cybercrime occurs everywhere, even in our country. This is a snapshot of what happens in our country. Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri, lodges report over his hacked Telegram and Signal accounts. Company director loses 5.29 million to love scam. Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia, Malaysian Education Ministry, e-operasi website allegedly hacked, teachers fear personal information leak. 82% of Malaysian organizations concerned about growing attack surface. And the Communication Minister says amendment to Personal Data Protection Act in the works after repeated data breach. So a lot of things occurring in our country. Is whether you realize it or not. But if you read the papers, if you read, go to the social media, there would definitely be cases of cyber attack or cyber threats. Then some might not report it. Some organization, they do not want to report because of the cyber or data breach. Excuse me, because it might affect their reputation, might affect their confidentiality, and might affect the people's trust in the particular organization. For instance, we talk about MySejahtera. It was reported that the data breach had occurred. So what does that mean? It means that perhaps the public, the society will lose their trust, will lose their faith with the government because we cannot control data privacy on MySejahtera. So what do we do? What does the government do? What will they take action to ensure that this thing does not happen again? Because the data breach will reflect badly on the organization. In this case, to the government. So the government needs to do something immediately to stop this thing from happening again. Okay, next. The chart shows the cyber incidents referred to cybersecurity measure since 2011 until 31st December last year. The types of incidents that reported to us, including the intrusion attempt, denial of service attack, fraud, spam, content-related vulnerabilities report, malicious codes, cyber harassment. But then again, the top 4 cyber incidents that occurred in our country are fraud, malicious code, intrusion, and content-related. And fraud, this one also, I would say, includes scam. If you heard about Macau scam, parcel scam, love scam, all those things that try to deceive you, those scams, they are also considered as fraud. Only we mention as scam because openly it tries to steal your money. Okay, when they talk about parcel scam, they said they have something for you from Post Malaysia, but in order for you to retrieve the parcel, you need to pay a certain amount of money to the Customs Immigration Department, to the Post Malaysia Department, and then you have this Macau scam, trying to lure you into certain illegal investment schemes, and then they want to steal your money. And out of all these scams, I would say that love scam is the most patient. I mean, the criminals are very patient in love scam because love scam doesn't happen overnight. Love scam doesn't happen over a matter of 2-3 days. It occurs over a period of months. Why? Because they want to gain your trust. In order to gain your trust, in order for you to send money to them, they want to make sure that you put your trust in them, and they say that they are madly in love with you. They care so much about you. And then somebody asked me before, how do they know that they can attack these certain people in the love scam? Simple, because if we look at the human nature, when you are single, when you are lonely, when you are without friends, where do you pour your hearts out? You will pour your hearts out. You will make your sad stories into your Facebook, into your Instagram, Twitter, whatever. So there are criminals who troll your Facebook, and they will look at those who say, I'm lonely, I don't have a spouse, I don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and these are the people the criminals will attack. And from then on, they build up the trust. They build up the conversation with you to say that don't worry, I'm here with you. You can believe, you can put your trust in me. I love you and whatnot. And this happened over minimum, I would say through our study, it occurred over minimum of 4 months. There was a case about somebody befriending a female lecturer. I wouldn't say from which institution. She is single, although it's already late. She was in her 40s, but is not married yet. She poured out her heart in the Facebook, and then somebody by the name of, you call it Mat Saleh name, by Mr. William so and so, claiming that he's from the United States. He's also a widower. He wants to get to know better with the lecturer, and they have the conversation, they have this communication over Facebook, and then they move on to WhatsApp or not. And it took the criminal, Mr. William just now, I mentioned just now the name, more than 4 months before he started asking for money from the female lecturer. He said that I'm going to retire from my current job as a airline pilot. So during my retirement, I want to set up a shop selling computers, laptops, and whatnot. But in order for me to set up my shop, my business, I need some capital. Could you please help me to give me some money for me to set up my business? So unknowingly, this female lecturer, because she was already so much in love with the so-called airline pilot, she gave her money. Initially, she gave up $5,000. And then by this time, the criminal knew that she can be taken advantage of. And then he started asking for more. And she transferred another $10,000. Now the total is already $15,000. She only realized she was duped, she was tricked, when she already lost about $21,000. That occurred between I mentioned just now, between the 4th month, and she transferred what $21,000 by the 8th month. So in the 8-month relationship, she lost $21,000. And after that, she couldn't contact this criminal by the name of Mr. William anymore. That's how they play the game. That's how they play this love scam. But they are very persistent. They are very patient, and they will really make you feel that you can trust them. That's the problem. But the other scam, it happened overnight, it happened over a day or short period of time. I always wonder, how could you fall victim in love scam like this? In my personal opinion, if you want to know somebody better, you must get to know the other person in person, right? Physically, then you know. But if this online love story, I don't know, how can you simply put your trust into that person? Okay, to cut the story short. Okay, next slide. The current cybersecurity challenges faced by organizations, as we look from 2020, 2019, 2020, and 2021, there is an increase in the number of cyber attacks and cyber attack surfaces, and cyber threats are becoming more complex and more sophisticated. The other problem or challenges is the work burnout, a special type of work-related stress, a state of physical or emotional exhaustion that also involves a sense of reduced accomplishment and loss of personal identity. It can be caused by excessive workloads or performance pressure. Remember, you are working in the cyberspace. You are not working with other people. You are working with your devices. You are working online. Sometimes you might not aware that you'll be working, you'll be looking at the monitor for hours and hours. Sometimes you feel so stressed out. Work burnout can cause human errors and reduce work quality. And this cause for the higher level of resignation. And furthermore, many employees are being lured away by the prospect of better pay and more flexible working arrangement offered by other organizations, right? They are something that are stealing your employees. They are from other organizations. Next. This is another, it's just a continuation from the previous slide. Threats caused by high power computing. This is common now. We have special buildings for servers, special buildings for where we have this do you want to do your online bank, online business or whatnot. The connected devices are perceived as the next stage of the internet's purview of our lives. What does it mean? It means that you will be connected to devices 24/7. What I'm trying to say is, for instance, when you go to bed at night, what will be the last thing you look at? Mostly will answer, I will look at my handphone before I go to sleep. All right or not? You will be looking at your handphone just before you go to bed. And then I ask them, what do you look first when you wake up from in the morning? Sir, I will look at my handphone. The first thing I wake up in the morning. See, that means you are too dependent on your devices. You are too dependent on your tablets. You are too dependent on your devices. That if you notice when you go into the public nowadays, for instance, I did a personal observation when I was riding the train, the LRT, from one destination to another. Have you noticed that almost everybody except one or two people, they will have their eyes glued to their handphones and the earphones in their ears? Have you noticed that? Have you observed that? Only one or two passengers will be reading newspapers or books or whatnot, but most of them will be locked into their devices. I'm from the senior generation. I would prefer to read books or newspapers on the train. That's why I can conduct my personal observation by looking at others, and that is how connectivity is. Then another example, if you have children, when you want to bring your children out to certain restaurant or kedai mamak for dinner or whatnot, what will be the first question they ask you? They will ask your parents, you will ask you as the parent, are there any Wi-Fi in this restaurant? Or are there any Wi-Fi? What are the Wi-Fi password for this kedai mamak? See, that's how connected we are to the device. And this thing is going to be more in times to come, in the years to come. If you notice, there are already some progress being made. If you look, if you notice about using the spectacles or glasses, where they can relay the information on the glasses, like what the technology is already here, it's already now, but it's being used by pilots on fighter aircraft. But they are trying to have that technology incorporated into our spectacles, so you can read your Facebook, your Twitter, your WhatsApp from the glasses itself. You don't have to look down into your smartphone. It's already happening. They are doing their best to come up with the technology. I think it's very soon. However, most of the IoT devices are unsafe and prone for exploitation by cyber criminals due to the person's poor security controls. These days, though, people are more suspicious of emails from sources they do not know directly. That's very true. Even me, myself, I do not respond to emails that I do not know who they are coming from. I do not answer the calls from unknown numbers. You never know whom they're calling from, who are they, and I only will answer calls from those that I know. Okay, it's very, very common that you can be tricked, and there were cases that you receive a call from a foreign number. They try to make a missed call, then you think, oh, I should respond, I should reply this call, and suddenly you're being tapped, and they can somehow, rather, the technology is there that they can make you pay a certain amount of money when you reply their calls. And next one will be deepfakes, make it possible for them to be convinced if they are having a face-to-face session with the real person, which shown or sounds like the one they know, but they are deepfakes. They want to confuse you, to deceive you by thinking that you are talking to the actual person. But actually, it's a deepfake. Somebody is imitating or using the AI and will instruct you to do something else, right? Next will be having one's network resilient to cyber attacks isn't enough. If one of your supplier gets into their network broken into, then they can virtually into your living room space. This is about supply chain attack. The main organization might have this strong cybersecurity, but they try to conduct the attack through the supply chain. There is, because supply chain, those are the organizations that supply to the main organization. They might not have that proper cybersecurity system in the organization, so they are being exposed, right? Next. Top trends in cybersecurity during the endemic phase: attack surface expansion, priorities in identifying threat detection and response. Now, just mentioned just now, digital supply chain risk, vendor consolidation, the process of reducing the number of vendors you work with to a smaller number or even a single partner, cybersecurity mesh integrated security structure, distributed architectural approach to scalable, flexible, and reliable cyber control, distributing cybersecurity decisions to business units, and beyond awareness, having a holistic and adaptive approach. Like what the title of this talk is all about, is about the global challenges. This is not only happening in Malaysia, it's also happening in foreign countries. So what we are doing now, similarly what to the other foreign countries are doing. And before you want to compare with other foreign countries, you need to beef up your own domestic cyber security system. Then only you can compare to the cybersecurity system from foreign countries, whether we are at par or we exceed their cybersecurity system. So these are the, because when you talk about global challenges, it does not come. The challenge does not come from domestic. It comes from foreign or international. You never know. I would like to mention certain countries, like I mentioned just now, state-sponsored cyber attacks. If you notice that, if you know about North Korea, they are actively doing this. They are trying to attack most of the countries, not only this region, but in the Middle East, because they want to get some information about defense system, about espionage, about financial economy and whatnot. All right. So that's why I say you need to beef up your domestic capability first. Next. Lacking skilled employees and experts. This is very relevant to what has been mentioned by Dr. Melbourne Tan earlier. If you look at the box on the right side, Malaysia has recorded a need for 20,000 professionals cybersecurity in the cybersecurity workforce by 2025. Would you be one of them? So ask yourself whether you are capable, whether you're interested to be working in the cybersecurity workforce, because we need, and the number is astounding, 20,000 professionals we need. All right. So another report by TAC cybersecurity skills gap contributes to cybersecurity breaches in Asia. So we need to have more people who are capable, professional in handling cybersecurity incidents. If we look at the chart on the left side, the percentage in the orange color will be 2022, the purple color will be for the year 2021. If you look, if you notice that there will be an increment from 2021 to 2022. The threat landscape is getting exponentially more sophisticated. 38% agreed in 2022, 48% agreed in 2021. Our security at stake and the number of tools vendors in use has become overwhelmingly complex. It's been increased from 25% 2021 to 30% 2022. We are increasingly struggling to retain skilled security resources to handle the workload, increasing from 2021 24% to 29%. We are also increasingly struggling to find or hire enough skilled security resources to handle the workload, increase from 28% to 29%. Moving workloads to the public cloud has made it more difficult to monitor the attack surface. There's a reduction from 32% down to 28% in 2022. And we are too busy fighting daily attacks to refine our tools and process to support the expanding attack surface and threat landscape. That is also an increase from 21% to 28%. And we are increasingly overwhelmed with number of alerts from 20% 2021 to 27% in 2022. Again, I would like to remind you, there is a need for professionals in cybersecurity. So please accept the offer suggested by Dr. Mabel Tan to enhance your knowledge in cybersecurity. Next. Cybersecurity will remain at the heart of a new normal. Yes, it is. Next. Okay, everybody is responsible. Cybersecurity does not operate in silo. What it means here is that the management must show the example by leading the organization in enhancing cybersecurity. Before, we have this chairman, we have the CEO who does not believe that they should be conversant in cybersecurity. They thought cybersecurity is only the responsibility of the IT department. No, cybersecurity should be the purview or the knowledge of everybody from the top to bottom, from the head of the organization until the employees. Everybody must know, everybody must be aware, and everybody must contribute to the cybersecurity of that particular organization. So much so for the chairman or the CEO to show by example and lead the organization enhancing cybersecurity. Next. This is the basic cybersecurity. We've been telling this in our cybersecurity awareness programs over and over again, but somehow or other we still receive cases of people being scammed, cyber attack, whatnot. Okay, use strong password, antivirus software, update your system regularly, continuous awareness, 2-factor authentication or MFA, multiple factor authentication, and schedule backup. All right. When you talk about cloud computer, I would like to ask you, is it secure to have a cloud computer? It's not that secure. I would like to remind you, it's not secure because who owns the cloud services? Microsoft, Google, or whoever. That means they have the ability to access the cloud services for their own, or you can say for servicing or maintenance, whatnot. So unless you have your own particular organization cloud computer or cloud services, then only you can use. To me, I do not use cloud computer, cloud services, because the security is questionable. All right, next. This is cybersecurity, another continuation. Limit sharing info on social media and online general. Sad to say, most of the young generation, they do not limit their sharing of information. They want to share everything every day, 24/7, with their friends, with their colleagues on social media. Even they want to share with them whatever they had at Starbucks this morning. They want to share what they had for lunch at the canteen just now. Everything they want to share. Remember, by sharing their information, you are also sadly exposing yourself to cyber criminals who monitor, who observe your social media without you knowing it. Safeguard your data and services. Okay, phishing, I think most of you are aware what phishing is all about. Next. These are our programs for cybersecurity awareness. What to do for data leakage, watch out for online scams. We've been telling this over and over, but still it occurs. People come to us they want to make report because their devices being hacked, data breach and whatnot. Okay, next. Enforcing cybersecurity training, of course, encryption and cryptography, data segmentation, exit policy, access control measures and policies, monitor data transfer. This is a little bit about the technical part of it, right? Next. Protecting from evolving cyber threats. Keep your cybersecurity system updated with all the necessary SOPs active. This is particularly this advice not only for organizations but also for individuals. Use modern and security-rich networks infrastructure by trusted manufacturers. Make sure your IT team is leveraging on the latest threat intelligence methodologies to monitor malicious activities. You must onboard the right talent and cybersecurity tools to address the evolving cybersecurity threats and outsource and experienced cybersecurity firms to deal with cyber threats effectively. Okay, next. Okay, future expectations of cybersecurity challenges. Next. We foresee, as Cybersecurity Malaysia, we foresee that these are the cybersecurity challenges in the future. Connectivity is everywhere. Now we are still at below 80% connectivity nationwide, but soon we're going to have like 86% to 90%. And smart cities are designed with technological connection as such, which creates new opportunities for cyber criminals to seek any loopholes. Automation, like I mentioned earlier, we have more automation, robotics, or AI. Okay. Cyberspace increase in speed with existence of 5G. Handling big data will improve significantly. And however, this is also true towards any incoming cyber threats and general data protection compliance. Big data are only the beginning of technological progress, and it requires protection against those who seek to abuse, steal, and sell valuable data. Next. Also, in the future threats to come, we have this game of ransomware throne. We call it game of ransomware thrones. State-sponsored cyber attacks, they are going to be more visible, I would say, more rampant. Facebook, Twitter, Google used as weaponized social media. It can be used to attack certain organizations, or it can be used to attack certain individuals. That's why we call it weaponized. Zero-day exploits are highly valued in the cyber criminal underground. Hijackers will target your application containers, and the information warfare, propaganda manipulation. These are the if you notice after the conclusion of our GE 15, we have the problem with information warfare. They're trying to force their thoughts, their beliefs to other people. So they're trying to disrupt the news or to create more fake news and whatnot. So this is going to be bigger and to become threats in the years to come. Next. This is the third part of the talk today, is about the Cybersecurity Malaysia's initiatives. Next. We have this CyberCasa CSM initiative aimed at developing empowering, sustaining, and strengthening cybersecurity infrastructure and ecosystem in the country to ensure network security preparedness. Next. These are the cyber culture in the middle of it, whereby we are involved with the Kementerian Komunikasi and Digital Communication and Digital Communication Ministry strategic framework, the 12th Malaysia Plan, National Fourth Industrial Revolution Policy, Malaysian Cyber Security Strategy (MCSS), and also the Malaysian Digital Economic Blueprint. So we play a supporting role in the national cybersecurity related policies and strategy plans, and also the responsible to advise and implement cybersecurity related programs. Next. These are some of the products and services that we have at CSM. Okay, next. I will highlight to you later. The holistic approach, what we have here at the adoption of holistic approach that identifies potential threats to organization and impacts to the national security and public well-being, and to develop the nation to become cyber resilient, having the capability to safeguard the interests of its stakeholders, reputation, brand, and value creating activities. It encompasses the three pillars: people, process, and technology. Next. Cyber culture shows that we need to have our cyber defense capability in depth. So for that, we have this product and services, product security and ICT system guarantee common criteria, cyber defense, vulnerability assessment, penetration test, data loss prevention. That is under technology, and then the process is the MCSS, and also the people that we provide training. Okay, next. Under the people pillar, next. This one, I think you will be more interested because we provide the training to provide more cyber security professionals. We do have that training program here at Cybersecurity Malaysia. They are under the Global Age, Cyber Guru, and Cyber Safe. I will explain to you in the coming slides. Next. This is the Cyber Safe, cybersecurity awareness for everyone. Okay, cyber security awareness for everyone. Safe. In making a priority to provide those on the front lines with the information, tools, and resources necessary to increase the national awareness level on the importance of cyber security. We provide the assistance to the government initiative. Next. This I mentioned earlier, develop cybersecurity professional. We have the strategic academic collaboration with some of the institutions of higher learning locally. CSM bundles its training program into selected local and international training programs and work closely with industry collaborators to further enhance, deliver, and market these services effectively and efficiently. Next. Building cybersecurity managers, strategists, and professionals under the Global Age certification. We provide this certification. With the goal is to create world-class competent workforce in cybersecurity and promote the development of cybersecurity professional programs within the region. Right, next. And then we have the process. Initially, we talk about people, now process. Next. This is addressing cybersecurity through policy under the MCSM, Malaysian Cybersecurity Strategy. There are 5 pillars and 12 strategies. I don't want to take your time by explaining each and every one, but suffice to know that we have this MCSS in place to enhance the nation's capability. Next. This is what we assist in Malaysia's digital economic blueprint with the 6 strategic trusts, 22 strategies, 48 national initiatives, and 28 sectoral initiatives. Okay. In the 6 star, we are under number 6, build trusted, secure, and ethical digital environment. Next. And this is the Domestic Personal Data Protection Act 2010. It governs personally identifiable data collected via commercial transaction. Malaysia's PDPA is aligned with the EU's General Data Protection Regulation. But then, as emphasized by the previous Minister of Communication, that we would like to enhance further on this PDPA Act 2010, because now we have a lot of incidents of data breach and whatnot, which involves personal data, individual data. So this is in the pipeline now. We are doing our best to improve and amend the PDPA Act 2010. Next. They are addressing data protection through cybersecurity guidelines. We have a number of guidelines, how best we can address the data protection for your information, all right? Next. Now in the technology pillar. Next. When you talk about the technology, traditional cybersecurity approach is no longer sufficient to deal with smart cyber threat. Why? Because I mentioned earlier, it has become more sophisticated. All right. So we have to have your cyber defense in depth. Next. This is just for your information. That what we do here at CSM, strengthening data protection through predictive cyber threat intelligence, CTI. Next. Strengthening cybersecurity prevention through technology vulnerability assessment. We have those labs here in Cybersecurity Malaysia. So we have also the skill workforce and professionals here. Next. Addressing cyber resiliency through adaptive security to be more proactive, dynamic, and integrated in cybersecurity approach. Next. Addressing data protection through strengthening of the detection technology. We have the cyber DEF, that is cyber detection, eradication, and forensic facilities. Next, the protecting organizational data via data sanitization. So these are all the technological part, right? Next. The achievements so far that we have now, we have more than 12,000 trained knowledge workers to provide Malaysia with local expertise. Remember, I mentioned there's still a need for 20,000 trained professionals by year 2025. So we still have a long way to go. More than 130,000 resolved cyber incidents cases since our inception. 130,000 cases, quite a number. 110 companies registered in CSM, CCP since 2015 to build collaborative relationship with cybersecurity players, local and globally. 12 countries have shown their interest towards Global Ace country chapters, which is a platform to increase cybersecurity professionals locally and globally. So far, we have actually more than 240,000 citizens or people we have reached through our cybersecurity awareness campaign conducted throughout the years. And then we have more than 100 organizations which had completed the VAPT services to government and private agencies, strengthening the security of the IT infrastructure, and more than 300 strategic cybersecurity reports provided to key stakeholders to update and share current cybersecurity issues nationwide. Next. This is just to highlight some of our awards and recognition that we received throughout the years. We even have the recognition from Interpol, International Police Organization, Interpol, WSS Forum, we were the champion. MBQS, Capture the Flag 2019. Next. Hortonworks, OpenGov, a lot of organization and seminars that we have won the awards and recognition. By we have achieved the Best Cybersecurity Innovation Award in 2015. Next. Again, the awards and recognition that we achieve. So quite substantial that I would say that the awards and recognition that we received to show that how the global and local communities have accepted our expertise and professional technical assistance. Next. Well, in conclusion for today's talk, there is no such thing as 100% security. There is still much improvement to be made, and we need to increase and strengthen our cybersecurity manpower and professional skills. Therefore, there is a need to ensure for a secure, resilient, and trusted cyber environment in order to sustain progression and prosperity. In this regard, a more innovative and proactive adaptive security approach is required to address such situations. Adaptive cybersecurity encompasses predictive, detective, responsive, and corrective capabilities. In addition to that, our approach also has to be adaptive, dynamic, and innovative, covering people, process, and technology. Also, we would like to strengthen the public-private academia partnership and national, bilateral, regional, and international collaboration. Remember, we cannot be facing the cybersecurity on our own. We have to work regionally and also globally. The country itself should gear towards cyber resilience as the threat of a global cybersecurity breach continues to pose a major risk. All right. Next slide, please. With that, I conclude my presentation. So now I open for the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Major Muhammad Rizwan, for an informative and valuable presentation. So
thank you.
We will proceed to Q&A section now. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop down your questions in the chat box here, or you may just unmute yourself and ask directly. While waiting for the questions from the audience, I would need you guys to help to fill up the feedback form for today's talk by clicking the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay.
Start. I need to open it. Just a minute. Can you mention this? Mr. Rizwan?
Yes, please.
Can you elaborate a little bit on mixed reality?
Come again?
Can you elaborate a little bit on mixed reality?
Mixed reality?
Yes.
Okay. I would say that there are two different environment surfaces about the reality and physical and subconscious of the cybersecurity. So you cannot run away from any one of them. Physically, you are there, but you need to be aware what is surrounding you and also in the cyberspace. When you talk about they are mixing, how do I answer that? That you want to be able to get as much information as possible by being connected to everybody, connected to cyberspace. But at the same time, you must realize that some of them are actually making you vulnerable, making you susceptible to being attacked. Therefore, you must be at all times. I want to say that you need to be vigilant to ensure that you are not being exposed to any of the cyber threat. And whatever you do in the cyberspace, remember it will have some consequences on yourself and also the security not only to you but all your devices and your environment. That I can say in shortly in such a way. That is what I can answer your question.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rizwan. Okay.
Yep.
For the second questions, okay, from Brandon Pang Xian Yan. He asked that, may I know what cybersecurity breaches have you personally encountered?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay. May I know what cybersecurity breaches have you personally encountered?
Okay. Thank you for that question. If I want to share that something that happened to me personally, okay. Have you, any one of you, ever received calls from LHDN, SPRM, police saying you have a court case? Okay, that happened to me. I received many calls, but what I want to say is the one call that I received from the MACC, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, saying that I am being indicted for opening a company involved with money laundering. Okay, money laundering. But they do not know my name. They did not know my name. So they asked me for my IC number. And I gave them a fictitious IC number, not my actual IC number. Surprisingly, the fictitious IC number that I gave them, they have the name for that particular IC number. That means, that shows they have that data with them. These criminals, they have the data. So let's say, for instance, they say by that IC number, they say, okay, Mr. Ali, they call me Mr. Ali because according to the fictitious number, IC number is Mr. Ali. So Mr. Ali, we want to conduct investigation to you because you have opened a company in Kota Baru, Kelantan involved in money laundering. Okay, remember MACC in Cyberjaya, in Putrajaya, right? And he said that I will connect you to the police station in Kota Baru, Kelantan. Within 3 seconds, he had me connected to the police station in Kota Baru. Try calling your friends. How many seconds will he pick up your phone? Try calling your parents. Try calling your colleagues. Around will take more than 3 seconds. But now somebody from MACC in Putrajaya calling the police station in Kota Baru, Kelantan, you know, a distance about 400 to 600 kilometers away, the police station answered within 3 seconds. And the sergeant at the police station answered my call. It was not really polite. It was really harassing me for me to provide to comply with the request to give some money or not. And then during the conversation, suddenly I asked, because the police officer at the police station in Kota Baru claimed his name was Sergeant Chong. Okay, so after much haggling, I asked, excuse me, Sergeant Chong, I would like to ask you one question. Are you working from the police station in Kota Baru, or are you working from the police station in Hong Kong? And he knew that I know the game. Okay, I knew the game. He knew that I know the game. So after that, he gave me all the obscenities and whatnot, and that's it. They cut off the line. So that was the one that personally happened to me, because I wanted to know their modus operandi, how they conduct this scam to people. Okay, that one happened to, because in CSM we want to know their modus operandi, how they conduct this, trying to cheat people, trying to deceive people. That I can share with you. Thank you.
I just close up the phone call for them. Okay, so for the third questions is from Liu Zizian. He asked that, what are some of the common methods of a virus attack we should be aware of?
Thank you for the question. But that one I need to inform you that is more on the technical side. All right. So I cannot share with you the information. I might be wrong. The danger here, I might be wrong in giving the information because there is the technical part. All right. Because I mentioned earlier, this is more on the strategic. Okay, thank you.
Okay, a few more questions.
Okay.
A question from Chen Fujian. Is pay VPN better from free VPN?
Come again?
Is pay VPN better from free VPN?
VPN or VPN, and then sorry, that also technical question.
Technical question. Okay, never mind. Next one. Okay, these questions actually is just messaged me just now. Okay, he asked that is do CSM Cybersecurity Malaysia take intern students or provide any fresh graduate programs?
Thank you for that question. Yes, we do. We accept interns and fresh graduates. We open, and mostly we accept for interns for the duration not more than 3 months, 3 months and above. We do not accept short term like 2 months and below. We do not accept because we want them to learn. We learn something by staying with us a bit longer. All right, and also for fresh graduates. Yes, we do.
Okay, for the next questions, taking 3 more only. This is the question from Wam Wailer. What should I expect from a cybersecurity work?
Thank you for that question. In cybersecurity Malaysia, like I mentioned earlier, there are two parts of it. One is on the non-technical and the other is technical. Like for me, for instance, I work under the non-technical part of cybersecurity Malaysia. So if you are interested in technical, there are a lot of opportunities for you to go through. I cannot list it out now, but you can maybe visit our website to get no clearer picture of what we can offer to you. And because in any organization, the non-technical part will involve the financial, admin, strategic research and advisory, procurement. That will be on the non-technical. So I work under the non-technical part of it. But if you are interested in technical, yes, please visit our website. We can share. You have the information there for you. Thank you.
Okay. For the last two questions, one is from Wam Wei Kang. What is the difference between encryption and hashing?
Thank you for the question. Also, I cannot answer that one. That is technical. There is a technical question.
Okay. So for the last question, actually this one is I will be asking, okay, Mr. Rizwan, what are the requirements to enter the cybersecurity career?
Thank you for the question. Okay, first and foremost, you must have a certain qualification or certification, be it in computer science or whatever it is, that in internet or not, that will open up doors for you in cybersecurity Malaysia. Likewise, you must also have the interest when you talk about whether you want to pursue your career in cybersecurity. That a lot of the courses offered in universities, I believe, in like cryptography, like in what else we have here? A lot. We have the I cannot rattle off now, but if you have that technical background or certification, yes, we can accept you at Cybersecurity Malaysia. Basically, something to do with the cyberspace. If any courses that involve computer science, computer cybersecurity or cyberspace, we can accept that. All right.
Okay, I see. So I think I should do more preparation for it from now. Okay, I think that's all. This is the end of the Q&A section. Thanks again, Mr. Rizwan, for your answers and the amazing presentation or advices that you bring up to UCSI College today. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the students and also the participants. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of today's talk. Thank you everyone for joining this section today. Before we end the session, let's put on a beautiful and wonderful smile of yours in our group photo section. Appreciate if everyone could turn on your camera to capture this amazing moment. Okay, be ready, yeah? Mr. Rizwan? Okay, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm taking a photo also.
Okay, all right. Okay, sharing energy. Okay, smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, let's get one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, done.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you
Thank
everyone
you,
for
CSI.
spending your precious time with us. See you next time. You may leave this meeting now. Bye bye.